Yo, check it, got that new fire straight from the underground. What you need? This that real hip hop.
Now, this must be, it's great fodder for candidates, actually. The primaries that are going on right now.
Well, I never do any political humor. I never do any topical stuff. So the only place I get to talk about something like that is a place like here, you know, or in interviews and stuff. But you see, I like a guy like Buchanan interests me because I just want to see his neck explode. You know, it's the same reason I was fascinated with Mike Ditka as a coach. I say, why don't they just put an isolated camera on him, and sooner or later this vein is going to. So I just like. You know, I just like disasters and things. I just do. I'm really fond of big explosions. When they say something explode, when I hear the CNN theme for breaking news, boy, I'm there. And the bigger the explosion, the better I like it. I really don't care. I don't care. I like it when a lot of people die. It's a little sick, I know that, but I do. I like it when a lot of people die. It's fun. I always wish that it happened during rush hour. You know, they always say, gee, if it happened during rush hour, it would have been much worse. I say, yeah. You know, it would have been so nice. I just, yeah. You see, I root, I got to tell you, ultimately, I root. I lost all faith in this species and in my nation's culture a long time ago. I got a divorce, and I needed it.
I hear that'll do it, yeah.
I found that, you know, artistically, tell you the truth, as a writer, it gives you an emotional separation from the outcome. A lot of comedians I hear, when they complain about stuff, they seem to imply that everything could be all right if we just do this or just do that. I don't care. It's never going to work. There's no. If you think there's a solution, you're part of the problem. That's what I believe. So. I guess it's true. They know.
How's that, Bumper?
It's how do I say this? Their laughter seems disingenuous. It doesn't. It seems like the don't say that. Oh, he's going a little far. George Carlin was he was a serious comic back in the day. And Conan O'Brien, I've never watched his show, and I don't know who the guy on the couch is, but I think he's a comedian too. Is Conan O'Brien a comedian? But their laughter is what lets me know that they're nervous. The way in which they're laughing, it sounds so forced. And I think Carlin is being genuine, but also making jokes. Yeah, let's finish this.
For sticker selling.
Yeah, we should. But I root ultimately for the big comet or the big asteroid to come here and get things right. Because what happened is we would never have emerged from the ferret stage. The mammals would never risen if it weren't for that comet that wiped out the dinosaurs.
The dinosaurs killed them, yeah.
The second comet is due to get things back in balance. And what I want for it to do as a poetic touch, I want for it to come through the hole in the ozone layer. Wouldn't that be nice? And I want it to happen east of me so I can watch it on CNN for about 18 hours before the dust cloud reaches my house. It's just the way I am.
So would you say that you hate people? I mean, is that a fair thing to say?
No. Individually, I love them. Every person I meet, I sort of like, and I'm not trying to be corny here, but I see the universe in them. You can see a part of everything and everyone, and they're just wonderful to look in their eyes. But when they start to group, when they get into clots, when there's, for instance, groups even as small as 2. Here's a good example.
So
You see how George Carlin is so aware about his situation, he can even make jokes about it while it's happening. Yeah, I like this.
2 of us,
That's
yeah.
right. Not as good as each of you separate.
Right, all right.
What happens is they begin to surrender the beauty of the individual for the sake of the group. Even like a guy, like, you know how if there's a bunch of guys hang around together in high school or college and then one of them gets married, he changes. He's in a group, and the wife will say, well, you know, he's just wonderful with the kids at home, but when he's with those morons at the bar, he's different. And the guys will say, hey, he was such a good guy, but when he's with Linda, man, the guy's, you know, just a drag. People change. And then the bigger the group, as the group gets bigger, 6, 8, 12, 15, 115,000, they begin to have hats, armbands, little slogans, lists of people they don't like, and it gets out of hand. So I'm in favor of people one by one, but in large groups, I would like to see them disappear.
Oh, so that's where you want the comet all net through the ozone layer.
We have to get back to the ferrets. The only hope.
Uh-huh. This is very nice,
But
actually.
it gives me
This is a
something
nice
to hope for,
message.
and it keeps me separate from the rest of the folks.
Mm-hmm.
There's
I
no
bet you're
one
real
to,
fun at a party.
yeah, well, there's no one to talk to about this.
Yeah,
You know.
I wouldn't think so.
But
All right.
it keeps me going.
All right. Well, we really sincerely hope you can come back sometime.
I will try it. I
Will
mean,
you do
I
that?
told you I'd like to come back.
Yeah,
There's
'cause
no
we've been
reason to plug anything.
Yeah, you don't have to plug anything
Good.
next time. Of
Good.
course, the HBO special, which you're plugging.
Right,
George Carlin.
Live,
Yeah.
live on the 30th.
Okay, George Carlin back in town debuts March 30th at
Right.
10 o'clock p.m. on HBO. It'll be hysterical, no
It's a
doubt
good,
about
strong
it.
show. It's a good, strong
That's
show.
really.
Thank
This is
you.
so great.
HBO. Oh my gosh. This was back when you paid for like the prime time television. So the HBOs, the Cinemax. Was Stars around? I don't even know if Stars was around back then. Um, but you had to pay for those. Those were extra, like extra, extra. And you paid for it and you got like it's kind of like how it is today. You pay for it and you get everything you get. Um, I just don't know what the prices were. I was a kid, but we're here to talk about Carlin, and the topic that he was really speaking on was people as individuals versus people in groups. And yeah, my only example not only example, but the clearest one for me was my ex. Oh my gosh. As an individual, loved her. She loved me. We were in such a great space. But when she got around her bum ass friends, bro, you she turned into a whole nother person, and it was just like and like he said, two people. It was only one, and then that one had other friends, and then when they would get in their groups it made it even worse. But you see how people change. That's just a quick example. But for another example, we can use a sports team. As individuals, people love individual players. But when they're together, when they're on their team, it's a collective and they all play for one common goal. But individuals, we love individuals. You love Tom Brady, you might like Wes Welker, might friggin' Aaron Rodgers, and then you might like Plexico Burris, right? But when they're on their team, when they're playing for their team, you're rooting for the team and the team goal and the team drive, and everyone's together. Um, but that's because the goal is to win. The goal is to, do something good. But what if that goal is not to do something good? Let's say we're not talking about sports teams anymore. And you have a group of people who come together to want to do something that's not so good. Now, as individuals, they might have good morals or some sort of good morals, but they just need a place to belong and they find a group, and then the group becomes crappy. The group is, you know, lackluster, or they're being led by a bunch of buttholes, honestly. Like, how do you wrap your head around that? The mob mentality is a real thing. And you give up yourself, pieces of who you are as an individual, to impress those around you, which is your group. To fit into your group, you dumb yourself down, you dwindle your light to impress the people around you. And like I said, with my ex, I saw it, it was awful, but I knew what it was. But I honestly thought with me being there, that would like negate that a little bit. Whatever. But I guess that's the thought when you see people in large groups that aren't doing great things, but you know one person in that group, and you're always like, but they were such a good kid. They were so great. They were so nice. They were all these things. But then he got with the group, and what the group says goes. I mean, George Carlin is ahead of his time, like far ahead of his time, but his thinking is different. And because it's not making anyone else and their current beliefs feel better, like he said, it's hard to talk about these things because you have no one to talk to. You know these things, you feel these things, but between you and God's ears, that's it. You don't have anyone else to talk to. So it's a little bit it's a little bit tricky because I completely understand what he's saying. I completely understand what he's saying. As individuals, I've met individuals all over, all different races. Everybody's different. As individuals, I love people. But when people come together and they start putting labels on their little groups and they start having like a one type of mindset, like a unified mindset, and it's hard to deal with people like that sometimes. So you just deal with them individually, and that's what I do. I understand that there are groups of people who believe certain things, but one person might look like someone in that group. That doesn't mean they believe everything in that group. So one on one with that person, I'm good. Now, when I go up against the group, it's a whole different thing. It's a mob mentality, and I probably don't stand a chance to win. And not say win, but I don't stand a chance to learn or teach or grow with or anything like that because I'm not a part of the group. But I've always been like that. That's what makes this kind of easy a little bit. Um, I speak freely um, from my own standpoint and how I see things. But I know it's not always what everybody wants to hear. I don't always give people what they feel they want to hear. I'll tell you what you need to hear. And that's always been my thing. And George Carlin, I think, did the same thing. He just did it with comedy. Now, if we're together, we're in a one-on-one situation, I might tell a joke here and there, make the mood light, but he perfected it with the comedy. Um, and we got to dive more into that, man, because I haven't lost faith in humanity. I just know that some people suck. And when you get more than two people that suck in a group and then they start to gather other people, and even if those people don't suck, they will make them suck. And now you got a whole group of horrible people, and it's just not good. It's just, to me, that's common sense, but whatever, bro. If you enjoyed this, you like this, you know what to do with this. Show love to the channel, man. We can greatly use it and be greatly appreciated. You guys are the reason why this channel moves. So, man, let YouTube know that this is worth seeing and worth being here. But until next time, peace.
Perfect.